Assalamualaikum. We are from Group 2 and our presentation today is about issues of unemployment. This group consists of 5 members and my name is Kamara Akmal bin Anwar.
Hello, Assalamualaikum. My name is Muhammad Izul Hakim bin Zulkifli.
Assalamualaikum. My name is Nur Alia Shazri binti Shahrizal.
Hi, my name is Nur Husnina binti Sayuti.
Assalamualaikum. My name is Nur Zulaika binti Samsudin.
A topic that has been given for our assignment is unemployment. Unemployment is defined as a situation where someone of working age is not able to get any job but would like to be a full-time employment. It happens when the people are unemployed and actively looking for a job. There are numerous theories that share and wrote about the effects and the remedies to the unemployment. This shows that this issue is related to the economy, and economic stability is one of the reasons that can lead to the unemployment issue. When the economy itself is not in a good shape, it can lead to the unemployment. This is because the company tend to not have a lot of people in the organization because they can't even achieve their objective and they need to cut their budget because of the economy. Other than that, unemployment can be a measurement to the economy's health. This can be referred by another country to see on how well our country is. In this project, we focus on the unemployment among the fresh graduates. According to the Department of Statistics of Malaysia, it is recorded that unemployment in 2019 among the graduates is increasing to the 5.5%. There are two categories which are active unemployed and inactive unemployed. Active unemployed is the person who did not work but actively looking for a job, while inactive unemployed give a meaning to a person who does not have a job and not looking for a job at the moment. According to the statistic, active unemployed and inactive unemployed accounted for 74.8% and 25.2% respectively. This is proof that Malaysia need to figure out on how to solve this issue before it getting worse and affect to our economy.
Firstly, the implications of unemployment issue in Malaysia is depreciations of spending and economy will be slowed down. According to Department of Statistics Malaysia, the numbers of unemployment rate increased from 3.38% to 4.9% in 2021 because of the COVID-19 situation, which will affect the spending of the people and leads to the inflations in Malaysia. It is because most of the people who are unemployed cannot earn any income, and which will create the less spending situations. The business cycle of the spending cannot be created because it needs two movement between the buyers and the sellers. For example, individual who is unemployed cannot buy their necessities and needs as they do not have any income. Hence, there is no buying and selling cycle in the economy, and this will lead to the slowdown of the economy. Besides, according to the World Bank in 2020, Malaysian spending has decreased from 3.1% as a result of the unemployment issue. Moreover, it will affect domestic demand in the country as the people cannot be involved in paying tax as they do not have the income to match with the tax inventions in Malaysia. Besides, gross domestic demand eventually will steeply falling in Malaysia's economic activity. Therefore, the implications of unemployment issue in Malaysia will have negative influence on the spending and the economic growth. Secondly, the implications of unemployment issue in Malaysia is that the employee will feel demotivated. It is because individual well-being will be affected during these situations, and the level of satisfaction of individual or employee can be depend on many things such as leisure, income, health, labor market, or other things. Besides, the circumstances of unemployment is that most of company will make retrenchments and may cut or offer lower salaries towards their employee in the organisation in order to save costs during these situations. Moreover, the main issue is the happiness of the employee, because during the situation, the employee feel demotivated and their productivity is very low. It is because most of the company retrench most of their worker, whereby all of the work may be overloaded or depends by one person as they lack of manpower. The shortage of manpower puts work tensions towards the employee, as they need to do a lot of work that supposedly is not in their work agreement that they are applied for. Hence, as the result, the employee will feel burnt out during the situation because of the workload and feel unmotivated to get their work done, especially when the salary of the employee is being reduced by the company. Thirdly, the implication of unemployment issue in Malaysia is an increasing number of social problem or criminal offence. Unemployment may induce the numbers of social problems in our community. Besides, social problem is criminal offence is an illegal action such as robbery, fraud, assault or stealing. There are two violent crimes, which is serious crime and less prevalent crimes. And at this point, a person will do whatever they want to do as long as they can continue their life and feed their family. Therefore, society stands to be a robber or steal money from the public, as it is the easiest ways to get the money. Besides, the unemployment rate rise by 1%, and the index crime is expected to rise 34.09%. This relationship between unemployment situations and social problem is positively aligned, as during this situation, people are desperate to get money to continue their life. According to the Stars newspaper, Tan Sri Lilamtai, a vice chairman of Malaysia's Crime Prevention Foundation, stated that in 2020, a crime rate index increased parallel to the unemployment rates. This situation always happen in urban area, which is Kuala Lumpur, as it has a high population per capita and income, which attracts the crime. And as a result, unemployment slump encourage people to commit a crime in order to obtain urgent cash and give negative impact towards the community and the country. So, that's all from me, and I will pass the floor to the next presenter.
Thank you, Zulaika. So for my part, I'm going to explain another two implications of the unemployment issue in Malaysia. So the fourth implication is the unemployment issue that happened in Malaysia could lead to the increasing poverty group. Poverty is the circumstance in which people or communities are facing insufficiency of financial support and basic needs to cope with the minimum standard of living in the country. It is not impossible for the people that are in critical poor conditions to be homeless, because at this point they felt like home is unnecessary. The money they gain was for continuing their life to buy food and other basic needs, so they rather stay and sleep on the street. According to the Statistics Department of Malaysia, the new report of National Poverty Line Income is 2,208 ringgit Malaysia. It gives the meaning that the household income that is below the PLI will be considered as poor. Based on the facts, it is believed that the unemployment issues in Malaysia are one of the factors that contribute to the increasing poverty and homelessness number. The reason both issues are correlated with each other is because the poverty and homelessness group could not get a job to support their lives due to the high cost of living in Malaysia. People who live in urban areas indicate the expensive cost of living. According to Senior Research Officer at the Malaysian Institute of Economic Research, The cost of living in urban area is very expensive. The average monthly salary around 1,200 to 1,500 ringgit Malaysia is not sufficient, especially to lower income households. So with that kind of cost of living, how the unemployed people are going to survive? Plus, the chances and job opportunities in urban areas in Malaysia keep decreasing as many people who live in rural areas migrate to the city, as well as many companies tend to employ foreign workers that have better skills and knowledge. Many people who live in urban areas do not get the chances to get job opportunities as the population increases and they need to compete for work in order to get the job. Hence, because of the scarcity of jobs, the rate of unemployment will increase and many people who live in urban areas will face poverty as the cost of living in Malaysia in urban areas is expensive. Lastly, unemployment issues in Malaysia also could leave a huge impact on an individual's mental health, either depression or anxiety. Depression is a sort of serious mental health disease that negatively affects the sufferer's thinking, action, and feeling. According to the National Health Morbidity Survey, age of 3 from 10 adults who age around 16 and above are suffering with mental illness. Since the novel of coronavirus, a lot of news reporting to the death due to financial difficulties they were faced with. So the reason why we say that depression has a relationship with unemployment is because the failure to seek a job after pursuing higher studies can lead to mental disorders. However, employers nowadays focus more on the working experience, but fresh graduates barely have working experience because in the previous, they were in university. The people that have low motivation will feel like all of the hard work is useless and start to overthink on what they should do in order to continue living in the future until they get depressed. Plus, many employees tend to terminate their employees to cut costs in order to survive while in lockdown, where all the industry cannot operate as usual. So the employees start to feel worried, anxious, and fear about what they should do in order to survive in this situation. So we can clearly see the evidence to support the point in which recent case about 25 years old man attempted to suicide at his house because he is depressed of being unemployed. So I think that's all for the implication. So now I will pass the floor to the next presenter.
Thank you. Next, I'm going to present about the suggestions for this issue. The first suggestion is reskilling and upskilling employees. This effort will further enhance their ability to do something related to their work. The government or any responsible authorities will provide a platform for them to learn a new skill or improve their skills with a series of training and tutoring from experienced seniors. This is very important in the effort to produce more quality workers and meet the needs of the industry. When the organization has quality employees, they can increase their productivity and this will lead to a better performance. On 3 November 2020, Malaysia Human Resource Ministry announced 3 training schemes focusing on job placement and self-employment. These schemes are namely the Place and Train Scheme, B40 Development Scheme, and Gerak Insan Scheme, and will be launched through the Human Resource Development Fund HRDF. The plans, which are part of the Penjana package, have as their major goal to aid in the revival of the economy. These 3 initiatives are part of a larger initiative to find and create job possibilities for Malaysians, particularly school leavers, graduates, and retrenched workers, through participation in placement job training required by business in specific industry. These programs were also created with the goal of assisting Malaysians with certain skills and expertise in upskilling themselves so that they can boost their income from multiple sources by becoming freelancers through end-to-end training. Employees will be trained to deliver their jobs efficiently using current workplace tools, machinery, papers, equipment, and other associated skills during the job placement time. Following this system, firms are required to hire the candidates and offer them a minimum of a 1-year contract. Placement job training, also known as on-the-job training, is a hands-on method of teaching the skills, knowledge, and competencies needed for employees to perform a specific job within the workplace. Employees study in a setting where they will be required to put their newly acquired information and ability to use. During this program, these trainees will have a skilled workforce and will learn new skills that will help them enhance productivity, confidence, and work environment. The next suggestion is establishment of new policy. This effort is where the government focuses on introducing new policies that will contribute to the creation of new jobs and will indirectly overcome the problem of unemployment. The government should examine all aspects that need to be taken into consideration before introducing new policies, including economically and socially. With this new policy, it will provide employment opportunities to the unemployed, and this will lead to the increasing productivity of the country. During the presentation of Budget 2021, the government announced the formation of the National Employment Council (NEC) that will be chaired by the Prime Minister to coordinate various initiatives across ministry and agency in creating employment opportunities, skill improvement, and employee training. The Malaysian government has also implemented the Scheme Jaminan Penjanaan Pekerjaan, which is Jana Kerja policies, involving the provision of 500,000 new job opportunities, including various skill enhancements programs and retraining at a cost of 3.7 billion ringgit. Finance Minister Tengku Datuk Seri Zafrul Tengku Abdul Aziz in the Budget 2021 presentation said that the government will continue the recruitment initiative under the Social Security Organisation known as Penjana Kerjaya. Penjana Kerjaya involve 4 improvements, which are: the first one is an incentive for employees earning 1,500 ringgit and above will be increased from a flat rate of 500 per month to 40% of monthly salary, limited to a maximum incentive of 4,000 ringgit per month. Secondly, to encourage employment opportunities for the disabled, long-term unemployed, and laid-off workers, the employers will be given an additional incentive of 20%, making the total employee incentive totaling 60%. Third, for the sectors with high reliance on foreign workers such as construction and plantation, special incentive of 60% of monthly salary are provided, with 40% channeled directly to employers and 20% to local workers, replacing foreign workers. All these 3 will be incentivized for a period of 6 months. Fourthly, for those employed under the Penjana Kerjaya policies, the maximum cost of training programs that employers are eligible to claim is increased from 4,000 ringgit Malaysia to 7,000 ringgit Malaysia for a high skill program or professional certificate. That's all from me. Thank you, and I pass to the next presenter.
Thank you, Izul. So for the third suggestion is that teachers might encourage their students to be an entrepreneur. Teachers might guide them to be an entrepreneur at school by developing ideas, financial strategies, and also some other planning at the early stage in the school. This is because students who are exposed in entrepreneurial skills will be an entrepreneur in the future. They may start selling clothes, homemade cookies, food and beverages, accessories, and many more things during Hari Merdeka, Hari Raya, and sports during the event being held at the school. For example, Muhammad Zakwan, who owns a company that supplies sports jersey in Kelantan, has won 15,000 ringgit Malaysia by Mara because of his achievement to open his own company at the age of 21. He stated that he developed entrepreneurial skills on his secondary school, and this proved that teachers might be one of the major contributors for students to be an entrepreneur. At the same time, teachers can hold a competition for their students by involving them in an innovation competition, and they will make Malaysia to be a great competitor with other countries. As we can see, small medium-sized enterprise SME has been the largest contributors to economic sector in Malaysia. So some of the school collaborate with Yayasan Johor Corporations that they want to continue in the implementation of the Entrepreneur Plan Class KRU program to develop more entrepreneurial skills among students. Last but not least is reducing the rate of retirement. Retirement is the moment in a person's life when they have already terminated their work due to reaching a certain age. The retirement rate was increased to 60 years in 2012. As we can see, Malaysia's graduate employment rate dropped to 84.4% during the pandemic COVID-19. The government initiated to have senior workers as they can be a mentor to newbies in the organisation, and most of us will look on their knowledge, skills and ability. But we have also to include their health into consideration. They have might have old or traditional ways in solving problems in performing tasks where that is sometimes not for the young people to follow their ways. In addition, there might be problems when they tend to have a sick leave since they have health issues. Senior workers have higher wages compared to newbies in the organisation. This might be a wastage for the organisation to pay them when they are not in work for a longer period. So millennials are the one who are active to fight for their rights. So they are more sensitive in facing up issues so that their rights will be preserved. And as we can see, the researcher Chan from 2010 stated that 97% of the respondents of retired workers in the public sector did not seek for a new job after their retirement day. This indicates that the pension scheme that has been given by the government is sufficient enough for them to cover up their standard of living in this area. So when they are leaving the company or the organization itself, it might help the teenagers or the youngsters to have employed in the organization from time to time.
In a conclusion, unemployment is one of the big issues that need to be solved immediately. This is because it can give an impact to the economy and to the country itself. It is not just affected to the one who is the one that do not have any job, but to the whole country because it is related to the economic stability. The government is the authority that need to take full responsibility for this issue. They need to determine an effective way to ensure that it can be solved and not happen again. Moreover, they need to stabilize the economy to ensure that the Malaysia is one of the successful countries. Thank you.